Bhaiya, going to teach you metals and non-metals. So this is the part 1 of 10th standard. Let's start with the content. So going before the metal and the non-metal, it's all about the elements. So it is divided into 3 terms, that is metals, non-metals and metalloids. Metalloids means what? Which possess both the properties of metals as well as non-metals. That is silicon, Si, germanium, Ge, antimony, Sb or stevia. So this is about the metalloids which has both the properties of metal and non-metal. So there are total 118 elements in the periodic table, which is made by the different scientists. So it is, you have heard about the periodic table. So that its total is 118 now, right? There are more than 90 metals and non-metals and few metalloids are there. Some metals you need to remember, that is sodium, potassium, magnesium, aluminium, calcium, iron, barium are the some metals which is mostly comes in the industry as well as in the lab experiments. Oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, sulfur, phosphorus, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine are some non-metals. This oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, so you know about the gases. Non-metals consist in a form of solid, liquid as well as gaseous form. Let's see the physical properties of metals. We have studied in grade 9 about the physical properties of metals and non-metals. Just we will do the recall of the content. It's mostly all the metals are solid except mercury and gallium. These two are in a liquid state at a room temperature. Rest all the metals are in the solid form. Now metals are lustrous. What is lustrous means? Shining in their pure state, or we can say it's polished to give a highly reflective surface, right? The third one, as you can see here, it's a lustrous, shining, malleability. Metals are malleable. What is malleable? That when we do the hammering, can be made into thin sheets. As you can see here, this one is a gold in a form of ore. It's an unshaped one. When you hammer it, you can see in a thin sheets. Is called malleability. Let's go ahead. Next property is ductility. What is ductility? That when you may want to make in hammering, it gives a thin wire. Metals are ductile. It can be drawn into thin wire like copper wire, silver wire, iron wire, gold. If you want to make it, it's a ductility. Having a high density. Metals have high density, means it's very heavy. As you can see, there is no space or little space between the atoms. So metals have a high density. About the conductor of heat and electricity. Metals are good conductor of heat and electricity. That is, allow heat and electricity to pass through it. Example, any metal you can take gold, copper, silver, iron. As you can see here in the picture, it conducts heat, and the wire, it conducts electricity. Next one, the properties of metal is hardness. Generally, hard differs from metal to metal. So alkali metals and sodium metals are soft metal and can be cut easily with a knife. And remember once that sodium, potassium are highly reactive when it comes in contact with the oxygen. So it should be kept under the kerosene oil, and that property is of chemical property. Now physical property means how it looks, how it shows the color, how tough it is, hardness. These are all physical properties. Melting point, boiling point. So all metals mostly are having a high melting point. Only sodium, potassium have low melting point. Sonorous. What is the term means sonorous? When produce a sound. When you bang some metal, it produces a sound, that is bell. Or you can take any of the metal and just bang your cupboard, which is of a iron, made up of iron, can be sound as a sonorous. So these are all the physical properties of our metals. Let's go the properties of non-metal. Either in a solid, it is in a form of a liquid, solid, or gaseous form. I told you right now, right? So its example you know very well. It's copper, iodine. Sorry, not copper. It's carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, bromine. These are all the examples of non-metals. Usually it does not have lustrous. Exception, iodine. Lustrous means what? It's a shiny. Does not possess the property of hardness. Exception, carbon in the form of diamond. Carbon is in a form of diamond means what? It's an allotropes. Only diamond shines, except all are the properties of a, that doesn't possess the properties of hardness, right? So it is the hardest substance known, which is also a high melting and the boiling point. Next, it doesn't conduct electricity. Only graphite conduct electricity. So basically graphite is in a form of a carbon, allotrope of a carbon, and it conducts electricity. It is used in the electrolysis process. So carbon in the form of coal, diamond, graphite, so are having a different properties. Non-metal tend to be a high volatile, easily vaporized. Volatile means, example, if I say the nail polish remover, highly volatile, easily vaporized, have low elasticity and are good insulator of heat and electricity. 17 elements are generally classified as non-metals from 118 elements. So 90 is a metal, 17 is non-metal, and the rest one is a metalloids. So these are the examples. Nitrogen, carbon, phosphorus, sulfur are some examples of non-metals. There is a property that of the non-metal is a dull shape, dull color. You can see here iodine, powder form, sulfur in a ore form. Next property is it's a brittle, can be break easily. So if you will hammer the non-metal, it can break easily. It's a brittle. So it's a not, they are not malleable and ductile. There are some other properties, that is, it doesn't conduct heat. This helps in making the handles for cooking vessel. You can see here, you can hold this one, right? And the other one is what? Bakelite. Also doesn't conduct heat. So it's a given over here. Properties of non-metal. They do not conduct electricity like oxygen, chlorine, right? These are all the examples of non-metal. Some other properties of non-metal are generally soft. You can see here, this one is a carbon, can be breakable. This is the lid, and diamond, it will not break. So all metals are soft except diamond. If you will bang with the hammer, it will not break, but if it is shining only. Sonorous. What do you mean by sonorous? It's a sound. Yeah, it will not give any sound. So these are some examples of non-metals. Sulfur, carbon. Next, non-metals have low density, lightweight. Neon, radon are low density except carbon. Right? So carbon is heavy except carbon, others are low density. Since there are exceptions in each of the physical properties, elements can be classified more clearly as metals and non-metals on the basis of their chemical properties. There is a difference between the metal and non-metal. You need to read it, learn it, and need to write one time in your classwork. The properties, luster, so metal is lustrous, here it is non-lustrous. Malleability, malleable, non-malleable. Ductility, ductile, non-ductile. Heat conductivity. So it is quite easy. Right now only we have discussed. Finally, the use of metals and non-metals. This is more important. You know that in our daily life where the metal is used. Copper, aluminium are used to make wire. Iron, copper, aluminium is used to make some household material. This one is what? Silver, aurum, that is gold, are used for jewelries, making jewelries. Zinc for galvanization. What is galvanization? For shining material. Chromium, zinc are used for galvanization. Or what is this galvanization means? It's a layer which used to protect from rust. Mercury is used in thermometer. Aluminum foil is used for food packaging or food packing also. Lead is used in car batteries. These are the uses of the metals, and some uses of non-metals like hydrogen is used in the hydrogenations of oil to get ghee. Liquid hydrogen is used as a fuel in a rocket fuel. Carbon in cells, nitrogen in food preservatives. Like in the packets, Lay's packet, wafers packet, some gas is present inside. So which gas is that? It's a nitrogen gas, which will not affect the crispiness. Next one is a sulfur. Sulfur is used in hardening of rubber. Sulfur is used in the matchstick. Sulfur, it is also used in the gunpowder. It's when it is used, it is in the form of explosive things. Hope you understood all the content. Need to revise and read the chapter. Thank you and have a nice day.